Good evening, Jay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Leaders in Action, Season 3, Episode 4. Good evening, Jay. We have been discussing lately the impact of COVID on agency distribution, but tonight we will take a different route and look closer to the impact of COVID on the operations and service capability of life insurance companies. We know that backroom functions and servicing play a crucial role in creating opportunities for the salespeople. A highly efficient operations and excellent service enhance customer confidence and build a more positive environment for the sales team to do their job. We are pleased to have with us tonight ASPLI, or the Association of Service Professionals in Life Insurance. They represent various life insurers, and their mission is to uplift customer service, create valuable customer relationship, and of course, promote fellowship amongst its members, and consequently provide support to our distribution.
Good evening, Mr. IB, and to everyone joining our episode tonight. Truly, the efforts and the support of the various backroom departments and by those tasked to provide service to customers are vital not only to retaining existing customers but also in acquiring new ones. Kaya naman naisip natin that it is worthwhile to be speaking with the association whose goal is to uplift the operational efficiency and service of the life insurance companies. Their efforts cannot be more relevant than today following the many disruptions happening around us because of the COVID. But before we learn more about ASPLI and their projects, gusto muna naming magpasalamat ulit sa ating very special guest speaker last week, si Ms. Karen Yulo, the National President of LUAP, for sharing their 2022 projects and initiatives, and also for sharing her insights on the industry and what priorities both leaders and advisors should consider in this new year. So, dear leaders, we hope that you have already convinced your financial advisors to already register as members of LUAP so that they can take advantage of the many exciting learning sessions they have lined up for 2022, starting off with their sales clinic happening this February 4 with no less than our very own, my LIA partner, ikaw yon, Mr. IB, as their special guest. No? Yes, so kita-kits tayo with Mr. IB next week. That's February 4. And then this will be followed by their 15th Insurance Congress, which is slated naman March 24 and 25. And of course, Mr. IB, remind din natin sila of their own Gamma membership, mga leaders, and attendance to the first Gamma Kapihan for 2022. Scheduled naman ito February 17. Alright. So there you are. First quarter pa lang, busog na kayo sa learnings and motivation and inspiration. I am so sure that after attending all this, you and your advisors are more geared up for 2022. So, kailangan lang ay magpa-member at mag-attend. So, if you want to watch our interview again with Karen, you can catch us on our Facebook page and YouTube channel.
Kasi with the fast-paced development in the industry, it will really help to leverage on available resources to enable advisors and leaders to adapt to these changes. Kaya sana advisors will be LUAP members and Gamma for agency leaders. We know that the insurance business involves multiple processes: approving new business, maintaining and renewing existing policies, communicating to customers and addressing inquiries, processing and paying claims, and of course, developing new products. Unfortunately, COVID has disrupted these processes, but more so affected the employees tasked to do all these things. As our partners in business, it is important also that we understand what home office employees went through and how the companies and the industry have been able to manage these operational, service, and people challenges.
Yes, Mr. IB, it will be very interesting to learn how our own operations and servicing teams have responded to these disruptions and how they have turned them around to create new opportunities for growth. Of course, in the center of all operational challenges are both people and technology. Technology to empower and to enable people, and the people in turn embracing, accepting, and learning technology to continue providing beautiful experience for our customers. It is a delicate balance, but something that we trust our home office partners are up to the task. No? So, importanteng marinig natin ngayong gabi na ito. So, we are very pleased that tonight we will be joined by two officers from ASPLI. Mr. IB, perhaps for most of our audience tonight, this is the first time that they will be hearing them and about ASPLI. Our guests are both extra busy these days, being the head of this operation and servicing teams of their respective companies, but still they are with us to share their own take of the challenges being faced by the industry operationally. We will hear their stories and their insights. They will also be sharing ASPLI's highlights for 2021 and also how they see the trends to be in 2022, specifically in operations and servicing, and what are the different plans and programs they have lined up for their members. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, it is our privilege to introduce to you, and please help us welcome our special guests. So, welcome again, Mac and Gina Rose.
Yeah, hello, good evening, Ms. J. Thank you so much. Thank you for having us, Sir IB. Good evening.
Hi.
Good evening. Thank you for inviting us. I know that you have thousands of followers. Right? So I'd like to say good evening to them also. Thank you for inviting us over.
Good evening
again for accepting our invitation.
Of course, an honor po. Yeah.
And we hope that both of you are well, no? Pero before anything else, we wish to congratulate ASPLI and all its officers for a very busy and fruitful 2021. We are sure that your series of virtual learning sessions and even your virtual summit last year added focus, no, and confidence to your members. So again, congratulations. So tuloy ang laban kahit may COVID, no?
Thank you. That's right, Sir IB.
So as before we start, no, siguro as a start to our conversation, siguro very briefly, kindly share some bits about yourselves and about ASPLI and its membership. Siguro unahin muna natin si Mac, ikaw muna, then we will request Gina Rose.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, please.
All right. So again, my name is Mac Arbis. So for our viewers, again, good evening. I'm the Vice President of ASPLI for 2021, and I'm the Vice President and Head of Operations of Coco Life. I've been with the insurance industry going 4 years now. Prior to that, I've been with the banking sector naman for about 8 years. And I've been with ASPLI for going 3 years this year. So that's pretty much of me, and probably Gina, can share more about ASPLI.
Thank you, Mac.
Yeah.
Okay, so my name is Gina Sanchez. I'm with Sun Life of Canada. I'm the head for client service centers in Luzon 1. I've been with ASPLI way back in 2018. I was the vice president then. And during the pandemic, for 3 years now, like Mac, we have stayed on in ASPLI. So just a brief introduction as well on ASPLI, aside from what you saw in the video. That video actually showcased the new logo reveal of ASPLI that was during the 20th celebration of ASPLI. So this is now the 24th year of existence.
Wow.
Yeah, we have been around for a long time.
Tagal yun na pala.
Yes, matagal. And it was founded by the who's who in the insurance sector. I'm sure that you know most of them. And we are very grateful for them for establishing this ASPLI, because the insurance industry is really benefiting a lot from what they started. So last year, we have 17 life insurance companies as corporate members, and almost 200 service professionals from the insurance industry.
Thank you, Gina Rose. No? 17 and 200, and still growing, I'm very sure. No?
Yes.
Siguro para ma-appreciate ng ating listeners yung inyong COVID journey. Maybe this is for Gina Rose. Kindly describe the major challenges that this pandemic brought upon operations and the servicing team of the life insurers.
Well, I know a lot. That's a lot of challenges, and I'm sure it's not new to you. But in ASPLI, the officers of the board actually have the privilege to share best practices. Can you give me a moment, sir, because my battery is talking now.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry. So in ASPLI, of course, the board has the privilege to share best practices, right? And conduct benchmarking amongst ourselves. And this has become more valuable, more so at this time when this pandemic, of course, we're all grappling with the uncertainty and the fear, right?
Yeah.
But during this conversation, there are a few that stood out, some challenges that really stood out. First is there's overload on service channels, because as we all know, the traditional touch point, I'm talking about the face-to-face servicing.
Yes. Yeah.
In brick and mortar offices.
Yeah.
Were now inaccessible during the pandemic, either inaccessible or reduced due to lockdown areas and high incidence, of course, of infection in the workforce. So that's a challenge. Why is it an overload on service channels? Because whatever is available left to the clients, like the digital platform or the call center, the clients have access to those in their own connected personal devices 24/7, right? And anytime, anywhere. So so you can just imagine that overload in that service channel. Another, of course, is the onset of the hybrid workforce. It's a far cry from our tried and tested operating model. And yung mass shift to remote working, shrinking workforce, the great resignation, which you have heard about, those are happening all at the same time. So that's a major challenge. What else? Connectivity. We are also dependent on our telco, and for remote work, that is not always stable nor reliable, right? Just as we speak, my bandwidth is fluctuating.
Fluctuation.
Yeah. So what else? Engagement, client and staff engagement, that has always been critical in operations, but now during the pandemic, it has taken a new form, entirely new form, that we don't have a template nor a playbook to guide us. And last, that I can think about is the mounting fraud risk. This remote servicing, it really exposed vulnerability in our processes and system. So that's the challenge.
So again, very multiple challenges that you encountered at the onset of the pandemic, and all of this obviously will be very important in how the customers actually see the industry, hindi ba? Based on your assessment, again together with your officers and members, how would you describe the response of the industry to all of these challenges na bumulaga sa inyo pagpasok nitong COVID?
Well, that's not easy to quantify. Now, when you say rate, I'm thinking of 5 stars, 4 stars, or the scale. But for us in ASPLI, the industry did very well. That it delivered. There's this business world article that says that the top 3 concern of the Filipinos is financial security. And it increased from 36% to 50% in 2020 as reported in the research by Accenture on how the pandemic changed the behavior of the consumers towards insurance. And in the latest data released by the Insurance Commission, they say that the Philippine insurance industries as a whole posted an aggregate net profit of around 24 billion in the first half of 2021. And it's an increase of 29% from the corresponding half of 2020. Simply put, we see here that the insurance industry sees that heightened consciousness of the Filipinos on financial security.
I totally agree. One is that while the awareness increased, kung hindi yun nasalo ng insurance industry by, again, addressing the major challenges you mentioned, walang growth na nalalabas. Maybe for Mac, is there any survey or customer feedback that will somehow tell us that the industry was somehow successful in addressing these challenges?
Okay. Well, una sir, I think, well, thank you for that. I think, Sir IB, nothing can really prevent us from going forward in addressing the challenges, especially the insurance industry. In fact, I agree with Gina. As far as the experience on the ground is concerned, the customers now are actually seeing the value of insurance. Filipinos are now seeing the value of insurance now more than ever. The pandemic came nabiglaan, and urgently it shifted everything, our interests, our priorities. From the insurance perspective, it also gave us an opportunity. From the insurance company's perspective, it also gave us an opportunity to show to our Filipino consumers what our organizations are really there for, and that's to fulfill the promise that we gave to our policyholders. In fact, what was even magnified is how we committed and how we delivered to these commitments rather. And well, I'm with Coco Life, for instance, and COVID-related claims po namin, over 1 billion last year, and counting. And that has been, it's a commitment na binack up, of course, ng leaders namin, ng CEO namin, and all na we will cover all those COVID-19 related claims. And that has been a concrete example of how the insurance organization in general has been committing and has been delivering to the commitments, and thus addressing the challenges brought about by COVID.
I think that's very important you mentioned na kasi ang tarang trial test natin is our ability to pay the claim. And obviously, again, we've not heard of any complaints about the non-payment of claim during COVID. And also, as you've mentioned, these major challenges. Ang nangyari kasi maraming kumpanya na dati babagal-bagal yata sa digital, because of COVID. Again, a lot of reports have come out that it talaga na fast track yung digitalization. Ano,
Yes,
tama?
yeah, I agree to that. You know, I'm personally proud to experience how the industry came together to achieve this huge milestone, Sir Ivy. No? In a time scale that is unimaginable in normal times. Kasi dati, aspiration pa lang natin to have digitalization, right?
Yeah.
It would have taken years to make that a reality pre-pandemic. Pero we did that. The industry did that. Put that in a matter of weeks. So, yun. Diba? Yeah.
Correct. Again, congratulations to the industry's ability to respond to the change. Jay?
Yeah. Good to hear, you know, yung sasabi nating promises made, promises delivered. No, at yun ang napakita ng ating industriya. Siguro at this point, let's I'll go ASPLI specific. No, so in what ways did COVID impact the association's plans na nilatag nyo nung 2020 and then proceeding to 2021? Paano naapektuhan to ng COVID? No? And how did you pivot in the last 2 years so that you managed to continue your purpose of upgrading service levels? Either one of you would want to answer that?
Take that question. Yeah, it's a very good question. Thank you. So first of all, I'd like to say that, of course, we accomplished a lot in ASPLI because the potent enabler for ASPLI in the years during the pandemic, I mean 2020 and 2021, is actually the shared leadership in ASPLI. That's the potent enabler for us. No? Our board officers stayed on for 2 years. We normally have just 1 year tenure, di ba, Mac? Yeah. Tag-iisa lang dapat kami. But then, we have to ride this tide of uncertainty together and deliver on our mission. So, another thing is that I'm saying, why am I saying that potent enabler yung mga board officers is that each one of them was actually nominated by no less than their either CEO or their COO of their respective companies. So as such, these are key talents that brought with them their experience, their optimism, their creativity to make things happen. So in ASPLI, we leverage on their strengths and talents. That's how we manage the changes for the last 2 years. So to your question about how we pivoted, no, rather than being upended, no, ASPLI brought the sessions that are normally done face-to-face or on-site, we brought it to cyberspace. That wasn't our plan because we started our planning in around February and the pandemic started in March
2020. So wala pang pandemic when you were making those plans.
Yes.
So we have an agile board of officers. So we shifted to cyberspace. So we managed to roll out our webinars. So we had 4 webinars per year and an annual virtual summit, even our courtesy call to PLIA, oath-taking with the Insurance Commission, and the General Assembly were all moved to the Zoom platform. Yes, Zoom platform is the platform of choice. Yeah. And then our sessions, we created it to be attuned to the times. We had speakers on wellness and mental health to supplement the topics on customer servicing and operations. Right? And then at the height of the pandemic in 2020, we offered all the learning sessions for free to members and non-members alike. We wanted to reach as wide an audience as we can. ASPLI wanted to assure the industry that we are constant in our mission. We offered the same quality sessions thanks to the speakers, the CEOs, who were very supportive. And we revised the membership package as well come 2021. And you know what, as I was sharing with you, Ms. J, earlier, those initiatives paid off. Kasi we opened the board nomination for this year. After 2 years na kami lang ang nandun, no, we got more than the expected responses from companies for their talents to join the board. So yun yung nangyari. So there, that's how we manage the challenge and changes.
So basically, no, just like yung narinig namin sa Gama and sa Luwap, ang ASPLI ay hindi rin huminto, no, sa inyong mga activities, sa inyong mga initiatives, even during the height of the pandemic. Of all these, Gina Rose, no, of all these initiatives that you have mentioned, which do you consider is that program na talagang nagkaroon ng most impact, no, sa pagtulong sa mga members nyo in facing or in coping up with the challenges? Alin dito yung mas nakatulong?
Well, I cannot really pinpoint which ones kasi it's all well attended. Before the pandemic, we have our attendees were, like for example, the learning sessions, it's less than 60 average, and the summit would be around less than 200, except for the time that during the 20th year where I think they reach about 200 plus. But during the webinars and virtual summit, we went as high as 400 plus attendees. So, and thanks to the Zoom platform, you know, we can track if they really stayed on and from the start to the end, you know, they're there. So everything was a hit, you know, in all humility, I can say that, because our speakers were, you know, top-notch speakers in the field. We had CEOs, we had, of course, Commissioner, the Honorable Insurance Commissioner, Attorney Ms. Funa, was always there for the welcome remarks, and you know that helped us promote our learning session and our summit.
Okay, that's good to hear, no, Gina Rose. Mac, punta ako sa iyo. As a ASPLI officer, during this pandemic, what one key major learning did you get from the organization?
Okay. Well, one key lang. Actually, there are several naman. Learning experience, key learnings that I have, I think, gained, being an officer of ASPLI. But if there's one that stood out, I think it's maintaining the communication line, and I think that's true for all groups, And why is that important? Well, maintaining a key communication line sa ASPLI, among ASPLI officers, made us a lot closer to each other. Yeah, imagine po, hindi kami talaga nakikita-kita for the last 2 years. I think I can count in my one hand how many times we've seen each other physically, completely. Siguro sa buong 2 taon, mga 5 times or 6 times na kami nag-gather physically. And if not for that consistent, clear communication line that we have built among ASPLI officers, we could not have maintained that culture of excellence, that we have maintained, and ASPLI has maintained throughout it's a more than 2 decade na history, And I think same is true, in our organizations as well, diba? Pag nasa office po kasi tayo, when you're there, when you're physically present, sometimes your simple hi or hello, to your team members, that would mean a lot, But when it's virtual, that's lacking, that's absent. So that's why one of the and not just, I think, with ASPLI, but with the whole insurance industry, one of the things that I think made a key element, na nag-shift dun sa workflow is yung pag-create ng mga chat groups, group chats natin in various platforms, Viber, Messenger, you name it, and there are certain groups there because it depends also on the need, And so I think that's it, ma'am. The role of the communication.
Yeah, and I agree with you, no, because especially sabi mo nga because of the absence of the physical interaction, no, ang maganda naman the virtual platform enabled us, no, to have a more frequent, 'di ba, naman na communication. And that's one thing that we're very thankful na this pandemic happened at a time na medyo nasa ano na tayo, no, virtual platform na tayo, may mga text na tayo, dami-dami ng virtual platforms, no. And
madami ng digital natives.
Yes, digital natives na ang mga karamihan, no, ng miyembro ng industriya. And it's very ano to, no, parang we're happy to know that ASPLI, no, has really taken advantage of those platforms, no, to continue that communication, no, among the officers and the team members, no, in making sure that you continue to deliver that excellent, no, service quality to our customers. So thank you, Mac and Gina Rose, for sharing that.
Looking into the future, no, I'm sure marami na nga kayong napapansin ng mga pagbabago last year, the year before, and now, no. Question is, what major service trends or changes do you see happening in the industry? Mas yung bang talagang omni-channel ba? Yung bang remote work natin will continue ba? Will you be using a lot of robotics or AI? How do you see the trends with respect to servicing moving forward?
Yeah. If I may, First Gina, I'll answer also. One of the major trends that we can see will rise this year and in the succeeding years is that I think that the shift will focus on self-service, Sir Ivy. So, and I'm not just talking about it's not just about technology, but the way of doing things as well. And I think the pandemic will magnify this because, for example, now, actually it's not just insurance industry, but even with restaurants, for example, diba? You would feel na diyan ka lang, ako na bahala dito, because you would not there's that hesitation already of being closer with someone. And I think self-service will be a trend, and will continue to be a trend in the years to come. In fact, it has been a trend already. It has started already, as we can see with our even sa airports na may mga online tech encounters, even sa various companies already have chatbots, and these are considered self-service platforms.
Yep.
And for the service people, what's in it for us? The service people, self-service na. What are we gonna do? No, service people, frontline people, I think will evolve. We will rather become solutions provider. Service people will be there to assess and see what do our customers need. And since we have self-service platforms already now, we're gonna be more of a solutions provider to them. And that will mean more. That will mean a lot also for the roles of our frontliners. Hindi lang yung and the roles will evolve as well. As far as yung work from home setup is concerned, yes, that will continue. In fact, there are companies already who have really acknowledged and declared that they will continue with the work from home arrangement even after the pandemic, or even with the pandemic settling down. For example, my company will continue with the setup even if the pandemic will stabilize. So this will be the trends moving forward, Sir Ivy.
Yeah, thank you. You want to add to that, Gina Rose?
Oh yeah, sure. So thank you, Mac. Those are really very useful points that you shared. For myself, the future of what I see here is that the future of service is to differentiate client experience. It will be about personalization, self-service, like Max said, but not over automation, because there will be people, the need for personal touch, especially for complex situations, complex cases, still need that artificial intelligence cannot address. So we need people for that. And of course, omni-channel. The client would like to experience, of course, a seamless service. They will not like repeating their story every time they get to attach. Right? Like when I call the call center, I tell my story. When I go to a brick and mortar office, I repeat that. And when I write an email to it, I will write it again. So nothing like that will happen anymore. Hopefully. So that's it.
So talagang one is okay. You've mentioned about technology, self-service, no, personalization. Again, people will gravitate to self-service kung talagang maganda yung sistema, 'di ba? Online transaction, chatbot, and then yung personal touch, napakahalaga yun because especially dun sa yung mga sinabi natin kanina na non-digital native, gusto pa rin nila nung may makausap in addition to the complex problem. So question is, how are companies responding to the expectation that technology will really make life convenient for their customers? And even with so much technology, how are companies now to make sure that there's still that human element?
Okay. If I may, President Gina, this is actually interesting. How will companies solve yung problem of, or yung challenge of technology? Well, I think the good thing is, again, majority of the population, I think, is very familiar with all a lot of tech platforms that are based on technology, no? So mobile apps, you have Facebook, you have Paymaya and all. In fact, last year, Coco Life have seen, for instance, a 50% increase online registration happen. No? So we have seen already the inclination sa online. No? But of course, there's this concern on security as well. No? Yes. In fact, that will probably drive customers reluctant in using and security and technology. And I think first, that's where the systems come in. No? Companies should invest on reliable systems. Companies should invest on systems that will secure privacy, security, fraud, theft, and all those things. No? And then second, I think it works two ways as well. Why? Because security threats are not just done on the other wall, on the other side of the wall, which is the organization. They're also targeting the individuals, the clients. So it works two ways because we also need to have our clients on board with the security measures of the security measures that are being brought about by technology. That's why it's important for us to also to educate our policyholders, our customers. No? Bakit po importante na hinihingan sila ng ID, no? Pag sila yung magta-transact, no? Bakit important na dapat ma-authorize ang sign-off, no? Pag sila yung nagta-transact, because it's for them, it's for their security. And that's why this should also be, and this should all of this should be done simultaneously. No? Yung pag-improve ng systems ng organization and the clientele riding along with the goal for security. And that's where you mentioned there. How about the other side of there's this portion still that's still not into digital technology. In fact, we have heard of customers who until now, some of them do not really even have an email address. No? And that's understandable. What do we do? There's still that, the industry, as we've seen, has also provided a specific servicing acknowledge the industry acknowledged that there's a specific pie in the portfolio that's really not digital. Thus, there are still servicing tools for them. No? In fact, may manual pa rin po. No? Pwede pa rin po sila mag-manual. No? So what we're saying is that the changes that come in, these did not replace the manual side of things. They rather enriched the previous processes that's there already. So parang nag-add up siya because we acknowledge that customer demands do not really evolve. No, they keep on adding up.
Given what you have seen out there, no, if you were to identify one top concern or servicing request of or expectation of a customer, what will that be?
Okay, I can take that question, Sir Ivy.
Go ahead, Gina.
It has not changed actually, even pre-pandemic and now, it has not changed. What the clients would like is fast service. The turnaround time is still very important to them. That we are able to commit to them when we can complete their request. So that for me, that still is their key ask. How about you, Mac?
I would concur with what Gina was sharing also, no, because well, yun nga, customer demands did not really evolve or change, but it kept on adding up. At the bottom part of that customer demand was actually turnaround time. Decades ago, that was the number one key metric among servicing professionals. Not BPOs would have that as a key metric. The banks would have that. As long as you're in the servicing industry, that you will always have that as a key metric. And I would concur that it has always been a classic demand, by our policyholders, Sir Jay, Sir Ivy.
Yeah. Okay, which is very true, turnaround time. So ang question ngayon, kasi di ba customers are exposed to other industries na instantly they get what they want, di ba? So paano yun? So you are getting much more pressure now to really shorten the turnaround time, ganun ba yun? Because kinukumpara ang industry with other industries who can provide faster responses.
Well, yes, for my company, we keep on improving on that. Of course, there's automation that helps us on that. Yes.
All right.
Yeah. Sir Ivy, I think to add up to what Gina shared as well, I think as far as ASPLI is concerned, that's where ASPLI came in as well. No?
Yeah.
What's good with ASPLI is that I think at least for the last 2 years or 3 years that I've been with ASPLI, we have been inviting also industries that make a difference, sa society. Those that are very good, in servicing. We have invited even hotels, banks. We have to listen to them, to listen to their stories, their journey on in shifting, yung service, yung demands nila, yung servicing tools nila based on the demand. And I think the insurance industry has seen those practices as well.
I think that's very good. Parang you're talagang getting out so that you compare to other industries who are maybe ahead in terms of many metrics as far as service is concerned. Jay, salamat, Gina Rose. Salamat, Mac.
Yeah, it's good to hear, na we are very much aware of what is being expected from us, by our customers. But we can also consider our distribution channels, like bancassurance and agency force, whose members, yun po yung mga audience natin tonight, that they are also our internal customers, and plus the fact na alam naman natin na since they are the ones who are always in the field, sila talaga yung nasa receiving end, ng complaints ng ating mga customers. At alam din naman natin ano yung possible impact, ng poor service sa kanilang sales. Now, having said this, what in your appreciation, ano ba talaga ang ask ng ating mga agency partners, no, when it comes to quality service? Ano ba yung hinihingi nila? Ano ba yung ine-expect nila talaga? And how, based on your exchanges, no, in ASPLI, how do you think are the different companies responding to this expectation from our distribution partners?
Well, thank you, Ms. Gina, if I may, no. Yeah. Well, una-una po, no, of course, we're really thankful for our distribution partners, yung people, our sales people in our agencies and our bank assurance channels. No. Hindi po, it's really hard to imagine how they were able also to really capture, you know, the market, no, during the last 2 years, especially na kahit sabihin natin na yung importance of the insurance product increased, no, still of course people would want sana to be liquid. Okay, anyway, moving forward, I think what's special with our industry, with our product, is that we are a service driven industry. What's different, what differentiates us with other industries is the way we with other companies is the way we serve, and that's how we are being engaged. For other industries, for example, yung relationship, yung communication between organizations and customers usually cease or end after the sale. But with the insurance, kasi po hindi, after even the acquisition, the relationship, the communication is still there until the fulfillment of the claim. In between that, you have the loans, and then yung mga premium payments nila. They would want to update their policies, etc. And that's where we come in sa servicing, and helping manage our clients with our sales team, with our distribution team. And we have seen how the servicing end addressed this by una-una po, our clients would, kahit dahil nga pandemic, katatakot silang lumabas, pumunta sa mga branches, they would want more online payment channels. And we have seen the several insurance companies being active in promoting their online payment channels. That's one. For Coca-Cola, for instance, yung other side naman, yung payout, yung of course customers would want, especially those who are expecting a payout, diba, or money kaagad. If you have an online online account, online bank account, you can get your payout online. So I think that's part of the progress that helped also yung address yung topic kanina, yung turnaround time, yung quality of service, and that also helped the servicing capacity. That helped, of course, more our distribution channels, of course, to connect well, with their accounts po. For those who do not have online pay accounts, for instance, well, I'll share this story of a team member that I have, close po lahat, ng branches kasi pandemic, tapos PCQ, so talagang wala, but there was this customer na kailangan niya. A team member of mine went out of his way, naka shorts and naka t-shirt, lumabas, nagstay sa office, nag-overnight siya sa office, nagstay siya para maibigay yung cheque sa kliyente the following day. And that's an example of how dedicated the servicing teams. It speaks of the dedication of the servicing teams of, I would say, the whole insurance industry. Ganun po natin kamahal ng mga policy holders po natin.
Okay, thank you, Mac. Gina Rose, you want to add something? Anything?
Yes. In ASPLI, we are cognizant of the fact that the distribution people, our advisors, bank assurance are our partners. That's why we always have them, invite them in our summit So we'll get to know what are the challenges that they are going through and how we can address them. So when we learn of how what they experienced during the pandemic, we appreciate all their efforts. So we are partners with them. And it's important that in our own companies, you know, the home office employees and the distribution, the advisors have the same values, you know, so that together you can collaborate and accomplish your mission together.
That's good to hear, no? So thank you, Mac and Gina Rose, no, for sharing, no, your appreciation of what our distribution partners are really expecting, no, and asking, no, how they can be helped, no, in terms of servicing aspect. And as you have said, having all these initiatives, no, done to service our customers better, make lives much easier for our distribution people, no? Kasi syempre, happy customers means repeat business, di ba? Means referrals, no? So kaya very, very important, no, na talagang maka-deliver din tayo ng very good, no, na service levels for our customers. Now, going naman sa flip naman natin yung coin, no? Let's look at the other side of the coin. In what way do you think naman distribution, though they are really sales focused, how can they better partner with their companies, no, specifically with our operations and servicing team, so that they can also be helped, no, in meeting the challenges, no, of the insuring public and provide excellent service as well?
Okay. Yeah, if I may take this also. Well, more than the acquisition, I think our distribution teams, our sales teams are playing a very important role in maintaining that quality service. No? Well, for instance, at times there are customers who would reach out to them first prior to call the customer service hotline. No? Lalo na po yung mga may relationship, no? Those have built relationship with policyholders. No? And that's understandable. And I think that's the value that our distribution team, our sales team have. No? Yung they get immediate, unfiltered data and feedback from our customers. And that's what we need. Yeah, that's what we need.
Yeah. Mac, having said that, na parang lumalabas talaga yung ating mga distribution people are really parang yung first line of defense natin, no? Pagdating sa mga kliyente, talaga sila yung unang receive niya, sabi mo nga, bago pa pumunta sa ating mga opisina, talagang yung ahente nila. Considering that, ano ang kailangan meron yung isang advisor? Ano ang dapat pinaghahandaan ng isang advisor so that he will be effective also, no, being the first line of defense natin when it comes to customer service?
Okay. Well, that's a very challenging thing to gauge. No. However, one of the things that I have noticed, Ms. Jane, is that the successful financial advisor, at least that I have witnessed, is that these are the ones who understand their policyholders. You know, I don't know. I'm not really sure if that answered yung ano ba yung kailangan nilang gawin, no? Para anong kailangan meron sila para magawa yan. But these are the ones who know what their clients want, no? Even before actually approaching that specific customer, alam na nila yung kailangan. No, because customers would often, of course, parang they would not want parang mga duplicates, no? Like yung pabalik-balik na usap. So dapat pagkausap mo siya, alam mo na yung kailangan ni customer. And I think that's the value of having an awesome advisor, no, distributor.
Yeah. I agree, no, Mac, no, kasi talagang yung ahente natin ang nakakakilala doon sa mga kliyente natin, kaya nga minsan, di ba, parang mas madali sila makapag-pacify, di ba? Kasi mas medyo personal relationship nila sa kanilang mga kliyente. So I agree no na very important yung relationship, having a good relationship and knowing your customers no is a magandang or sabihin na natin ammunition no ng isang ahente. Okay.
Yeah, and that's to add up to that, Ms. J, if I may, no, that's very important because those notes, no, those ideas, those knowledge ng customer or ng knowledge ng customer, these are actually the birthstones of wonderful initiatives, no, and these are actually the birthstones of ideas, of solutions, no. These help the servicing teams, no, think of ano pa ba yung mga pwedeng gawin, no, so customers will be a lot happy. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Bago nating iwanan yung question na yun, Gina Rose, do you have anything to add?
I fully agree with Mac. What remains in my mind is that point where you asked what does an agent have to have, diba? To be a perfect one, parang ganon. Tama ba?
Parang first line of defense ka.
Oo. Actually, for my company, we keep in touch with advisors regularly. We still have that, tried and tested FGDs. So we know more of their pressing issues. We also grace their branch meetings so we can have forums with them, and we update them of what we do in the home office, in the back office, in the front line, by conducting learning sessions for them. So in other words, we expect them to be they are professionals, and we of course treat them that way with respect and professionalism.
Yeah, thank you.
I think that's a best practice, no, in creating opportunities for the home office personnel, also facing the customer and the agency force or the bank assurance as well, to really have that opportunity to communicate and exchange ideas. No, sana through ASPLI, more companies will be able to have that kind of regular communication. Alam niyo, ang bilis ng oras, di ba? Sabi natin, magkikwentuhan tayo. Patapos na tayo ha? Ang bilis ng time ha? So maybe my question kay Gina Rose is that as the ASPLI president, no? And we are listened to by agency leaders, what will be your message to them so that both the distribution and service people headed by yourselves will be able to work together even more?
Thank you. Thank you for that question. And as the president, I would like to encourage our leaders to get actively involved really in the respective industry association and to collaborate with everybody, with all these association leaders to make our industry stronger than ever.
Thank you. From you, Mac, any because like Gina Rose are also on the ground, any message to the agency leaders?
Well, again, thank you. First of all, thank you for inviting us here, Sir IB, Ms. J, and of course, thank you for the hard work our agency leaders have been doing for since the insurance industry came into existence. Siguro message ko po from the very beginning, well, again, communication is the bloodline of relationships. So it has always been a something I'm very passionate about, to always maintain a clear line of communication, hi man yan, o hello man yan, with all our partners. And I'm also inviting our agency leaders. If you need something, if you need ASPLI to be there for you, if you need something from ASPLI as well, Miss Gina is here. Miss Gina and I are here also. And of course, I'm confident that the future leaders of ASPLI and even our previous leaders will always be available for you.
Those are very comforting words from Gina and Mac, because as you know, agency leaders are on the ground and need all the support that they can master, no, to do their job better, no, in the days ahead. Jay?
So thank you again. So ayun na, pinag-usapan natin kanina, Gina, Rose, and Mac. Ang bilis lang ng 45 minutes, no? Ng 1 hour, no? In fact, marami pa kami questions, pero medyo babalik na lang kayo next time, no? Para magkaroon tayo ng part 2, no? But thank you for joining us again tonight and for sharing with us, no, your insights and also your programs and initiatives, no, for 2022. I believe this is the first time that a bigger part of our agency force gets to hear you, no, appreciate and understand what you have been doing, no, behind the cameras. Okay, in order to uplift the service, no, proficiency of our industry, and how your programs, no, have really been benefiting not only our customers but our agency force as well. Perhaps I can say that one very important and vital values that we have realized during this pandemic, and this we heard from the many guests that we have interviewed, is the value of teamwork. We could have not survived and thrived during this crisis by ourselves, not even, no, by being in our small unit or team. No matter how good we believe our programs, our initiatives, our plans are, we just cannot do it alone. No, we need the support of each other and even of others outside of our team. Our customer and our operations team are our number one enablers of our agency force. While our distribution people are busy looking for clients, no, looking for sales, our customer service team, our operations teams are there to ensure that customers are well serviced, that they are delighted and they are kept, no? So ito yung responsibility, ang rolyo ng bawat isa. However, though it may seem that each has a different role, has a different focus, yung dalawa naman has only one common objective, one common goal, and that is to help Filipinos, no, have a more protected and secure future. No, that one big cause is what binds or what should bind the sales and service teams together. Sabi nga doon sa isang kanta, 'di ba? We're all in this together, no? So sama-sama tayo dito. So dahil sa mission natin, no, sales, no, operations, no, and all our other backroom partners natin, lahat tayo isa lamang ang ating direksyon, no, at isa lamang ang ating focus. So sama-sama tayo. So thank you again, Gina, Rose, and Mac. May you continue leading the ASPLI, no, to greater heights, not only in 2022 but beyond 2022.
Well, again, we've seen this teamwork make the industry grow at least double digit, no, in 2021. And again, this is possible because both sales and operations / servicing are working together. But more, I believe, can still be done to work even more or even much closer together and with better coordination. We hope that this episode will somehow have given everyone the idea that there is really a lot that can be done and can still be done by working together. Maraming salamat again, Gina, Rose, and Mac, and all the best to you both as you lead ASPLI to its full potential.
Thanks again both, and thanks again our dear agency leaders for joining us tonight. Ang dami na naman nating baon as you prepare to start a brand new month next week. Mr. IB, February na tayo sa susunod natin na pagkikita. So, ganun kabilis ang panahon. So, if you want to watch again this episode, I think medyo nagkaroon kami ng konting glitch, no, in some part of the program, but you have the chance to watch the full uninterrupted, no, episode, no, of the interview tonight on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. And please don't forget to share this page so that more people, more members of the agency force can learn about ASPLI and what projects they have in store for 2022.
Well, at the start of each year, one thing that the agency force is really gearing up for is to either qualify or repeat as an MDRT. MDRT is a global designation which represents the top class of the agency force. For next week, no, to share with us how she's able to promote the MDRT culture in her team, we will have AIA Philippines multi-awarded agency leader, Ms. Nina Solomon Añover. Nina herself is a 25-time qualifying and lifetime MDRT member, 9 times as COT and once as a TOT. We will learn how she infects her people with the MDRT virus. Or putting it another way, what booster does she give her people to fight mediocrity?
Wow, that sounds to be another exciting conversation next week. Nayanig kaya ng pandemic ang commitment, ang confidence at ang resolve ng ating mga tops, or mas lalo nitong pinagtibay? No? Lalo kaya pinagtibay ng pandemya? If you want to know the answer to those questions, well, you better join us again next week in our episode with our dear friend, Nina Añover. So that will be next Thursday, February 3, 8 p.m. here in Leaders in Action.
Real leaders.
Real stories.
And real talk.
Bye, everybody. Thank you, Gina Rose and Mac.
Thanks, Gina Rose. Thanks,
Thank you.
Mac. Salamat, ha. All the best.
Thank you.
Both of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Bye. Stay
God bless.
safe.
Salamat.